Was Paz Visla's death completely unnecessary? Sure, in the moment it felt like a really emotional scene. The heavy. We've grown familiar with him over the last few episodes. They really did develop his character in this season, and now he's dead. But at what cost? Did he need to die? And is there overall enough setup for the finale episode? Could they even kill off the Mandalorian, who might not be the Mandalorian any longer? We're going to talk about all that tonight, as well as the actor that could be playing Cal Kestis in the live action, whatever Cal Kestis might be in. Some speculation on that. It's not exactly what you think. And in our news segment, there's been a lot of drama recently about Mr. Beast, the biggest single YouTuber ever in history, and his friend. So there's a little bit of drama going on with that. I will give my take on that. It's not really Star Wars, but you'll see how it ties in a little bit, because I have some exclusive footage of him being interrogated, which is, I don't know how I got that footage. I didn't really pay for it this time, but that's how it is. So thank you very much for tuning in tonight. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to have a lot of fun, as well as your favorite guest. I love having him on. It's my dad, so I love talking to him anyway. But thank you for watching. Stick around right here on Coffee on Korriban. And welcome back to the show, Coffee on Korriban. I just got a text from my guest from last week that he says they're going to kill off Din Djarin. Let me know in the chat right now, do you think they could possibly do that? Are they going to kill off the Mandalorian? And jumping off of that, is Din Djarin even necessary anymore? Because we know the Mandalorian from the beginning was talking about him, but is he even necessary to the story anymore? That is a very interesting question, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, everyone in the chat. Dale says it'll be a cliffhanger. I think so. Are they going to cliffhang us all the way until season 4? And this side is not cooperating. Close enough. Let's see. We also got Leia Rose in the chat. Here's a sip for you. And Dale, here's a sip for you as well. All right. Comment of the week before we get into anything else comes to us from Alien Clay 2. He says, it's not about Paz. Paz was voiced by Jon Favreau, and this season has the hallmarks of the Kathleen Kennedy influence, Book of Boba Fett style. Killing Paz off with sequel trilogy Praetorian Guard was symbolic, killing off of Favreau's influence in Mando. They didn't even use Jon's voice this season. Something is crazy wrong. And I didn't think of that until you mentioned it. And now it makes sense. Whether it's symbolic or legitimate, I don't really know. But something does feel wrong. Something has kind of felt wrong about this entire season as a whole, if you know what I mean. It hasn't felt like The Mandalorian. And again, it goes back to the argument, maybe we are spoiled with Andor, but I don't know. Sus T, I don't even know if you're caught up on the season. If you want to jump in here, you're always welcome. You can let me know. But I don't know who that is. Tate Fletcher. I don't know who that is. But anyway, let me know in the comments below. Do you think they're going to kill off Mando? Okay, well then, Sus T, let me send you an invite. If you are Curly at a coffee shop. Oh, join from the coffee shop. That's the whole point of the show, is coffee. And Star Wars as well. So let's talk about Paz Visla's death. And FatherTime, let me know if I sent you the right link, because sometimes I send you the wrong one. But let's talk about Paz Visla's death. Was it an emotional moment, yes, absolutely. And let me send a link to Susty because he says he'll join from his coffee shop. We're going to see. There you are. Why didn't it copy? Invite, copy. Stay with me, guys. Okay, link has been sent if you want to join. We'll see how it sounds from the coffee shop. Yeah, I still don't know who that is. Sorry. But Paz Visla's death, in the moment, was it emotional? Yes. Absolutely. I felt kind of sad and depressed seeing him die. It was the heroic last stand. And there's a couple things that I read in some comments this last week that kind of tossed my opinion of this scene back and forth. First, it went from, wow, that was really special, a really amazing moment in a pretty good episode. And then it went from there to, I don't know that he needed to die and was that kind of cheap emotional blackmail, so to speak, preying on us, the audience, to give us a feeling of importance in that scene. And then it went all the way back to a different point after that of, you know what, that's totally in line with his character. We're going to talk about that in just a second once I bring in my guest. Right here, where is, this one's always good.
Oh, it is so good. That's not where it's really good. There it is.
FatherTime, there you is.
Wow, here we are.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. You sound a little quiet.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's better.
I scrambled to get this thing put together, so we'll see.
Well, you did it, even with the brick background.
Got my bricks back. I couldn't figure out my Snapchat background.
That's awesome.
Snap our Snap camera.
So right off the bat, what is your rating of this last episode, the pre-finale episode?
I liked it. I was engaged. Do you want a rating? What, 1 to 10?
Yeah, 1 to 10.
Hello, Dale. It was up there, like 8-ish. I don't have too much that I was rolling my eyes at. I liked it, and it was leading up to something bigger, so I'm okay with that.
Cool.
Overall, in general, though, not related to this episode, I'm still upset about my chemistry guy.
Your chemistry guy?
Yeah, from like episode 2.
Oh, Dr. Pershing. Yeah. All right, Sus T. Drinking coffee. Let's see. Can I hear you?
Is the audio terrible?
Sip for you.
No, I can hear you. I can hear background, but I can hear you.
Okay, then I will mute when I'm not talking.
Oh, all right. So what was your rating out of 10 for this last episode, the pre-finale episode?
I'm going to give it a 7.5, maybe an 8. I thought it was really cool that there were Mandalorians still there. I thought they were going to stab him in the back and betray him. Kind of thought that's where it was leading. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was pretty cool overall. Paz Visla's death was so unnecessary. He could have just stepped backwards and pressed the button instead of like dying. He has a kid to think about. Like, there's so many things he didn't even like go through in his mind. Other than his death, which I thought was pretty bad. But other than that, it was pretty cool. I liked how they were all working together. It was maybe a little bit too easy for them to work together. They should have had an episode. Divisions, yeah. That's what I'm saying. They should have had an episode based on like how to like work together. You know, because you have so many like people from both positions that are like really high strung and know that this is what they're doing. This is how the Mandalorians are supposed to be, and they wouldn't play well with other Mandalorians who have different values. You know. But overall, It's not bad. Really good episode.
Yep. And
I thought Grogu running the machinery was pretty funny.
I thought that was amazing.
That was
fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. No, come on, get out of there. No.
I like that was funny.
Yeah, that was awesome. Very, very smart comedic relief.
Maybe people were tired of the egg. I don't know.
Oh, him floating around in his egg?
Yeah.
Very, very possible. So, FatherTime, what did you think about Paz Visla's death? The first time you watched it, and maybe also now that you've had a little bit of time to think about it.
I think it was unnecessary, like Susty just said, behind the wall, and then push the button. But
Um, I don't know. Yeah, it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
So the first time watching it through, I didn't think anything of it being unnecessary or not. It just was a heroic last stand. Yeah. Oh, I knew he's going to die. No, he's gone. Oh, man, that was so emotional. And then after thinking on it a little bit, it's like, there kind of really weren't any stakes there.
No,
for
I mean, there
him
was no
to have
last stand for
sacrificed
what?
himself
It's
for.
not like he saved anyone. They were all out.
Yeah. Now, if they
He
had
could've got
had
out,
like,
too.
if there was like an escape pod that had a timer or something, like he had to hold them off for X amount of seconds, and they were barely able to escape before whatever. Like if they could have totally built it up better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But as it was, yeah, it was. They were long gone by the time he was fighting his last stand.
They were probably like, where'd he go?
Yeah. Now there were
did
really
what?
cool. The fighting was really cool in it.
Yeah, it was great.
His gun overheating was really cool.
Yep, that was cool.
It's exactly what happens in real life when you do that. But aside from it being cool and maybe emotionally targeted just for the first viewing, maybe it does seem pretty unnecessary. Now, the counter argument I've heard to that is it's totally in keeping with his character, and also this is the way. People kind of use this is the way to cover all of that unnecessary, like, well, it's just you die for Mandalore. It doesn't matter anything else past that point.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't ruin the episode for me. I was just kind of like, oh, really? You didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, it was just unnecessary, I think, is the best way to put that. But it does seem, now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot who it was that commented it at their suggestion, said, think about it, this is totally in line with his character. He's the one to go out in a blaze of glory when it isn't completely necessary, because that's his character. And thinking back into some scenes where I've seen him in, that makes sense. But it still doesn't make it necessary.
Nope. Overall,
Yeah.
though, I did like it.
Yeah, so it was cool. And then the Praetorian guards came in and just mopped the floor with him.
That was cool.
Granted, he was super tired at that point. But
Now, if we're picking it apart, little things that we're picking apart. I don't think the remaining Mandalorians that lived on the planet would not have known that was the secret base with TIE fighters and everything.
Good point. Yeah, you would
I
see
don't know.
ships coming down all the
Yeah.
time.
For sure.
You would see them coming down all the time. Because it seemed like they were pretty active and mobile on the surface.
Yep.
They got around.
Yep.
Oh, I totally forgot about the giant lizard thing, the Godzilla monster, which is a little random. But yeah, just kind of unnecessary, I think. Ozzy says he hated the whole idea of IG-12, to be honest. Just let IG-11 rest in peace. Let him go. Also, it just feels wrong. He's controlling the body of a dead droid. Yeah, a weird predicament that brings up. Hey there, Nanny. Good to see you as well. I think most people are in
especially
kind
since
of
we were
this.
just talking about our droid sentient.
Yes, yeah, we were talking about that a couple weeks ago about our droids persons.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is their level of sentience and how much of a person are they? So that was a good question. But yeah, that does seem weird to kind of gut him out and use him as a mech droid.
I don't think it fit him
suit.
really. I think it was a little too small for his ears, but
Yeah. he Grief Karga tossed him and he's like, oh, perfect fit, and he's all like, no. It was funny him walking around and just hitting yes, and I said in my reaction, which I still have to edit and upload, that's exactly what my daughter would do, is just push it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So that was a good bit of levity. Any other standout moments that you guys have from this episode? Things that you thought were really cool?
I like the ship that got destroyed. Too bad it's been out in half an episode. That was cool, getting around the planet.
Yeah, your waterworks on land ship.
Yeah. Totally. And I like how they drop onto the planet out at the bottom. They just get launched out. They just Bombay doors open and on out.
That was really, really cool when they just dropped out and all landed and secured the perimeter.
Yep.
That was pretty Navy SEAL-y. It was very cool.
I was apprehensive about the forging lady's trip back to the ship. I thought she was going to get ambushed.
I thought the fleet was going to show up and blow up the rest of the Mandalorians out of the sky.
That's literally what I told FatherTime when we were watching it. I told him that exact thing. I was like, they're going to come out of hyperspace right now.
Yeah,
come out of hyperspace right in front of her.
I totally thought that's exactly what was going to happen. But turns out they had a secret base that was pretty large. And it's always nice seeing TIE interceptors and everything. What did you guys think?
Crazy. Literally, I didn't think about what FatherTime was, or I didn't think about what FatherTime had brought up before he brought it up about how did the Mandalorians that are living there not know there's a giant base there?
Yeah, how do they get them down there?
They're like, oh, it's in the fire forge. We'll show you where it is. Hey, what's in here? This is crazy.
Yeah. It's
once again, it didn't ruin the episode for me. I just thought it was odd.
Yeah, it doesn't seem as well thought out as it should. But there's a lot of stuff in this season that feels like that. Like they should have taken just a little bit more time and thought things through instead of being like, oh yeah, that was a cool idea. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, obviously, what happens.
I mean, if you think of the difference
doors
between the writing, the acting, the scripting, the dialogue in this episode versus the glowing ice cream, those are two totally different things. And in the same season, that feels weird. But individually, I don't think they felt out of place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just wasn't as solid as I would have hoped. And so that leads into the other discussion. Do we have enough setup for a solid finale episode?
Well, what are we hoping for? I'm still holding out for
that's
Chemistry Man.
Okay, so you want Chemistry Man?
Yeah, I don't think I'll get it. I'm giving up on that, really. But
I gotcha.
Maybe he's too far along. He's done.
The reason I ask that is because obviously the finale is the payoff. We have to have the setup. Do we have enough setup? And what is the setup? And what are we?
I don't know. I kind of feel like
finale?
I didn't get the setup. Like, what are they trying to lead me into believing or hoping for in this next episode? And I don't know if I got it.
They're trying to get us on board with take back Mandalore, but like it barely gave us any like reason to want them to succeed. Does that make sense? Like unless you watched a ton of the Clone Wars episodes and you know all about Mandalorians in depth, watching how their society used to be, like you're not really rooting for them in this season if you're just coming into it blind.
Yeah, that's true. Dale says Pershing is probably going to be the opening scene, then we go back to Mandalore. Yeah, but the question is, why do we need to retake Mandalore? And so if we're thinking about this from we need to retake our homeworld perspective, the stakes are almost non-existent for this finale. What they should do is say, okay, we barely escaped with our lives. We lost our heavy. Let's come back to our clan, regroup. Now we know there's a base there. We need to get more people, or we need to get the New Republic involved and say like, hey, look there's like a whole like imperial like army growing, and like you got to take care of this, and then figure it out from there. It doesn't seem like the right play would be to go and try to retake Mandalore right now, which is probably what we're going to get in this finale episode. Other than retaking Mandalore, what is the point? What are we working towards in this finale episode?
The Mythosaur. But once again, I don't think we'll get that. I thought the lizard thing that blew up their ship was going to be the Mythosaur.
I thought that was as well. So here's a hot take. This sounds awful. I hope it does not come to pass. Instead of thinking about what they're supposed to do and regrouping and then coming back with greater numbers, they're going to go back up to the ships waiting in orbit, the rest of their Mandalorian clan. They're going to say, we have to go take out Moff Gideon right now. And they go back down. They're about to get totally beaten, and then Bo-Katan rides the Mythosaur, and the Mythosaur destroys Moff Gideon and all the ships. And her riding the Mythosaur is what saves the day.
Okay.
That'd be very, very Disney.
That's a pretty busy episode.
Disney, you said, right, Sus T?
Oh,
Yeah, Disney. Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't know. I could see them like not even going back to the mythosaur. We saw it. We know it's there, and they could just leave it.
Good point. Could be a season 4 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a season 4 thing. Well, let's leave that there for
I mean,
just a minute.
That's all it really took. That's all it really took. Like, no one needs more than that currently. Like, we know it's there. We know it's real. We don't need to have a whole end episode of the season dedicated to how much destruction it can cause. Like, no one needs that. We know it's there. We know what kind of power it has.
True. Very true. Yeah, those ties don't stand to float against
cool.
the Mando. Yeah.
Interesting fact. Okay. Can you tell me, Coffee, what does the TIE and TIE Fighter stand for?
Twin ion engine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. You sounded
regroup
very
your mic
strange
there.
there. Yeah. Where's that video? Yeah, where's that video?
Version. That was your mic.
All right, so let's take a break from this, and we're going to talk about, when we come back, loose ends. What loose ends do we need tied up from this season to be satisfied going into the end? Yeah, tied up. But this is going to be, if I can find it, the news from the stars.
From the farthest corners of the galaxy and every channel in the HoloNet, we bring you news from the stars.
News from the stars. Where is my button? I'm looking for a button to share my screen. Do you know, FatherTime, who the character Cal Kestis is?
Breakfast cereal. No, that's my default answer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Susty, do you know who the character Cal Kestis is? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got to jump out and rejoin because you still sound like Chewbacca. 2-bit Chewbacca. No, it just sounds like chop, chop, chop. Chop, chop, chop. I can hear you, but the signal is awful, so jump out and come back on. All right, anyway. Have you heard of the game Jedi Fallen Order?
Yes, I played it.
Okay.
Actually,
the main
I can
character...
play it right now and share my screen. I have it right now. I'm looking at it on my desktop.
I have not played it, but the main character, his name is Cal Kestis. He's the Jedi, right? The Jedi... I don't even know what the story is, honestly. But Cal Kestis, the ginger guy, is the main character.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's much better.
Okay,
so you know who Cal Kestis is, right?
Yeah, he's the main character of the video game
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order, yeah.
And Ozzy, yes, I am. I absolutely am, if I can get it pulled up here. So, there's an article that was sent to me by Ozzy, Star Wars Nerd, that was going around in Discord that speculates on which actor should play Cal Kestis in live action. Sus T, do you have any top favorite picks for who should play Cal Kestis in live action?
First of all, here's the problem with those. It's everyone's going to pick the hot actor of the day, and that's not necessarily the best person.
I have a good idea. I don't know if you're leading us into who actually has been cast for it, but if someone could be picked, okay, I'm picking the guy who plays Joker in Gotham. I don't know his name. I'll pick.
We've lost him.
Okay. Hold up. Let me share this article. We're gonna read this article. I'm gonna spoil it right off the bat. That's the guy, the Joker from Gotham. That's the guy that plays Cal Kestis in Jedi Fallen Order. That's him already. Yes. So let me share this article. Okay. Titled "The Reserve."
Now your mic is dying out.
It's such a joke. Am I not even sharing it?
You are now, but your mic was dying out.
share screen? Is this still dying out?
I just said
Sus T's out.
Okay, all right, Sus T, you're dead again. You're dead again. Your mic's dead. Okay. Jump out and jump back. Okay, is my mic?
No, you're good.
I'm loud. I'm loud. Anyway, it's from Fandom Wire. It talks about the resemblance is insane. Star Wars fans demand Gotham star Cameron Monaghan as live-action Cal Kestis. So it goes on to say, Star Wars fans are famous for the dedication to the series. Many fictional inhabitants since the release of Jedi Fallen Order. Gamers have demanded a real-life version of the game's protagonist, Cal Kestis, and Cameron Monaghan, the TV show Gotham star, is the ideal candidate for the part. Fans have been lobbying for Monaghan to play Cal Kestis, noting his physical likeness to the character and acting experience. Fans have overwhelmingly chose Monaghan to play Cal Kestis because of his impressive acting resume. Fans are certain he could successfully represent Cal Kestis because of his ability to depict deep and multifaceted personalities. Cameron Monaghan's remarkable likeness to Cal Kestis is one of the key reasons fans request that he is placed in the role. The problem with that
So far, so good for me. I don't know what
is that's already him.
Oh,
He is the guy that played Cal Kestis in the video game. And
Well,
they're
yeah, but
they're saying in
live
the
action
article,
video
like,
game is
man,
different."
he looks just like him. But it's the same guy. It's, you know how they do like CGI with mocap suits?
mocap. Is that like mohair?
Yeah, motion capture. They wear the suits with the dots on it, and
Yeah.
like a camera on their face, and it just digitally transports it.
Oh, and he's the one that they got the facial features from for the video game.
Yes,
That's why I feel like but he looks like
played
the video
the
game.
character because it's him.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
funny.
it's because it's him. That's
That's
like
funny.
that's like
Had
oh,
they put
if
anyone
did a
else in
live
there,
action
everyone
pol-
would have wanted the other person.
right, but it's like, oh, if they're doing a live action Polar Express, oh, maybe they should get Tom Hanks because he looks like a conductor.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's like, yeah, but that's him. Like that's already him. So
All right, see ya. Susty's out. He's getting kicked out of the coffee shop.
okay, all right. See you, Susty. Thanks for stopping by. Cool. So anyway, that was
Yeah,
the whole
no, I
point
get
of
it.
the
That's
article.
really funny. That's really funny.
Yeah. So the writers of the article are like, you know what? Fans are saying this guy would play a really good Cal Kestis because he kind of looks like him, and his acting. Oh, we know his acting is really good. And they don't even know
because he's already played the part.
Yeah, because that's actually him. So anyway, that's been news from the stars.
From the farthest corners of the galaxy and every channel on the holonet, we bring you news from the stars.
Alan, good to see you in chat. But oh, that's what he said. He's getting kicked out of the coffee shop.
Yeah,
That's funny. Scroll to the bottom of the tweets. Y'all, yeah, if they ever bring Cal Kestis in a live action, they've got to cast Cameron Monaghan. The resemblance is insane. Yeah, that's just
Oh my god.
hot take. Cameron Monaghan's first appearance as a live action Cal Kestis shouldn't be limited for a cameo in a show with an already established character and plot. Cal's cameo would not further the plot in the slightest. I'd say wait a few years. Okay, that's a reasonable one. Cameron Monaghan as Cal Kestis in live action would be phenomenal. Yeah, because it's him.
That's pretty funny.
So anyway,
The game's not the
What?
best, though, by the way.
I've heard mixed reviews about it.
It's very
I haven't played it.
repetitive. Very repetitive.
Yeah, it seems like it. You do the same thing and learn new abilities and keep doing
Then
the
do it
same
again.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. When someone in chat maybe can let me know, when does the second one? Is it Jedi Survivor? Is that what it's called? When does that one come out? I know it's coming up soon, but I don't really game, so I don't know.
You ain't got
Anyway.
no game.
I ain't got no game. So loose ends. Let's talk about some loose ends. What
Oh boy.
loose ends do we have from this season of The Mandalorian that we need tied up?
I'm gonna
in
need
this
some
finale
help
episode.
from the chat, because I'm thinking there's so like every episode has loose ends. It feels like
Yeah,
they
just
like leave
about.
stuff behind on every episode. That goes into
Thanks,
our
Dale.
previous discussions.
And Ozzy.
That goes back into our previous discussions that we don't have to know everything that goes on in the universe at all times. But if you're gonna put so much stuff in episodes that just falls by the wayside, I don't like that. And that's how it feels to me. And I may be wrong.
Yeah. So we have. I guess we got a little bit of it with Moff Gideon because we didn't know what he was up to.
Yeah.
We've got the League of Shadows, which is very interesting, but we don't know a whole lot about them. We've got Dr. Pershing, who is he even in the picture at all? Is he dead? Like we that's a loose end. We don't even know anything about him.
Yeah, we don't even know that.
The whole involvement of the New Republic, we don't know. We know they're incompetent, and that aspect of this season I actually really enjoy. I like seeing how they're falling into the same pitfalls that the Empire did, which is also very similar to the Jedi Order as a whole. They were on the surface doing the right thing, but they were so caught up with doing the right thing that there was no legitimate safeguard structure to it. So let's see, what other loose ends? We really haven't had anything this season with Din Djarin. As far as character development, a story arc with him specifically.
I don't know who said it, but somebody said he's getting lost in his own show.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why, as my guest from last week just texted me, that it's very possible that they're going to kill him off in this finale episode.
Wow. That's a wow.
That is a wow. Like, the Mandalorian could refer to any Mandalorian, and it's seemingly more and more apparent that it's referring to Bo-Katan, that she's the Mandalorian.
Maybe she was the Mandalorian the whole time.
Yeah, to begin with. But the Mandalorian, in the eyes of the general population, we always kind of have to refer back to that. We're really excited about all this stuff. We love looking into the deeper stories and how it ties in with previous Star Wars projects and all that stuff. But the average viewer is still watching the Grogu Mando show.
Yep.
Most people probably don't even know his name is Din Djarin. He's just Mando, or the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And so if he's killed off, either people are going to think that's the end of the show. This only had 3 seasons and it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're going to think, well, why do we want to watch season 4? It's like, what's that show? When Calls the Heart, where they kill off Jack. And it's like, what's the point in watching past that? And wasn't that like 3 weeks after they got married or something?
I don't remember, but it was like,
I didn't watch
he's the most liked character on
the
there.
character. I mean, there's dozens of other examples in other shows where the main character or the favorite character is killed off and the show progresses for another few seasons.
Yeah.
And especially people years down the road looking to get back into it, if they know that the character is getting killed off in season 3 of 6.
Okay, so let's take that.
There's no point.
When Calls the Heart example. I didn't watch it after that. That's it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like bad. I just didn't have any interest in watching those other episodes.
Yep. Ozzy says they won't kill Din. Someone has to die, and I think it will be Moff Gideon, if anyone, although some interviews with actors say otherwise. That sounds like the storybook ending.
Yeah, Moff's dead.
If you're doing things the proper way.
Gone.
Or when Luke got killed off in episode 8. Yeah, that's a good point. He was just gone. So what other loose ends can you think of? Anyone in chat, let me know what loose ends are still left that we need to have wrapped up in this finale episode. Yeah. Because I know there's a lot. It feels like we haven't gotten anywhere. Isn't it weird? Because we have gotten places.
But
like from the beginning of the season, like
maybe
I said,
to me it feels like every episode had loose ends and nothing has been tied together.
Yeah. And maybe that's because we took care of the whole redeeming in the waters Minds of Mandalore thing from the outset. In what was that, episode 2 of this season? I think is when we took care of that. So maybe that's why it seems like everything after that was like just kind of waiting. It just doesn't feel like we've gotten a whole lot this season, even though we're at the very end of it.
Maybe it would have been better to get the let's go to the planet, fight the beast, and fix the ship and leave. I don't know.
Yeah, as awful as that sounds, it almost seems like it. Like, take us back
They were like,
to the
oh,
good
good,
old
it's all
days.
wrapped up. Let's go to the next one.
Take us back to the good old days where one episode we're fighting the Mudhorn, the other one we're fighting the ice spiders and
Now,
eating the
think-
frog eggs.
I think in all the seasons of Mando, my favorite was, remember when they hijacked the big exploding like off-road trucks when we're cruising through the jungle? That whole 2 or 3 episodes. That was my favorite part. The whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Taking over the base, blowing it up.
Yep.
That was great.
Yeah, I don't think
we've
had any episode like that in this season. It's gotten lost in
They'll
itself.
create more
It's
Nova fonts. They won't tie anything up. They'll create more.
yeah, it's very very possible, and I hope they don't, because then the cliffhanger is going to be for another 2 years or whatever until Mando season 4. And I just don't know if people's interest will last that long based off of just what we've gotten in this season. I don't know if there's enough. Ozzy says Moff Gideon doesn't want to kill Din. He needs him for something. He had the chance to kill Din last season and took him prisoner. He could have done the same with Paz. Same thing in the base down underneath Mandalore, where they had him all tied up and strapped down. Moff Gideon, maybe you want to say that he was giving his monologue, his Cameron monologue. But yeah, he had the opportunity and he didn't. And there's still the question of Dr. Pershing's cloning. I guess we got a little bit of an answer of that, is he wants to clone force-wielding Beskar-wearing soldiers.
Yep.
I guess.
Where are they getting this Beskar? From the planet?
Yeah, because they're in the planet. They have access to the mines,
I guess,
and everything. They do what they want. It's weird. Aiden, good to see you, good sir. Unfortunately, can't stay watching the stream, but I figured I'd pop in and say hello. Well, I greatly appreciate that. If you want to delicately tap that like button while you're here, you don't have to. You can tap the dislike if you want, but I would greatly appreciate it. Maximus, good to see you. And that goes for everyone. If you guys want to tap like or dislike,
K
again,
copies.
you don't have to.
Copies going there.
Okay, yep, coffees. There we go. Good to see you. We got a large part of the crew here tonight. So, already tapped it. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. So anything again to your chat, loose ends that still need to be tied up. Anything you can think of.
Well, like mentally go through the episodes. What do we have? My big thing was the doctor, chemistry guy, mythosaur issues. I think maybe that's all I care about. I don't know.
Yeah,
we know Moff's back in the picture. We know he's like trying to do some stuff. Battle for the planet. I think that's too big of an issue to wrap up in the final episode.
Yeah, and like I said, that would be kind of a pointless push when they have all the TIE fighters and everything, and all the Beskar stormtroopers, when they could kind of regroup and think about it. But we could get an 1.5 hour long finale episode. You never know. I doubt it. I think it's going to be like 30 minutes or something, 35 minutes.
This one felt long. Was it?
I think it was longer. I don't remember the runtime. I think it was longer than last week's. But, yeah. Well, we're going to jump into our last news segment of the night, and then we're going to talk about... Oh, maybe it was not that long. I thought it was a little longer than that.
It felt long.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to get into our last news segment, and then we're going to finish tonight's discussion by talking about what we want to see out of the finale. Some good endings to that. This is the way the news goes.
The Republic will be reorganized
Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who Chris Tyson is?
Nope. Does he make
Okay.
chicken?
That was my first thought as well. So anyway, Chris Tyson is, and everyone in chat, you guys probably are aware of this, he's been in the news, was basically Mr. Beast's best friend or good friend or whatever. He's
So I've probably seen him. Probably know who he
yeah,
is.
you've seen the Beast Reacts videos before where they watch things and they just kind of
Yes.
react to stuff. The guy with Mr. Beast, I believe most of the time, is Chris Tyson, right? He's a guy, husband, father, he has like a 2-year-old or something. Anyway, he's been, over the last few months, painting his nails and wearing more feminine clothing, and then finally came out as, I mean, you guessed it, the way everything else is going these days. And that puts Mr. Beast between a rock and a hard place. He can't kick his friend off the show because then he will be canceled, and he's the largest channel on all of YouTube, largest single content creator. There's bigger companies that have bigger YouTube channels than him, but largest single content creator, most popular YouTuber in the world. But so he can't get rid of his friend, otherwise he'll basically lose his career or severely impacted. And he can't.
He'll get woke.
He doesn't personally want to go along with that. From what it sounds like, he's not very enthused about having this Chris Tyson guy on his show still. So it's a bit of an awkward situation, and I will give my thoughts in just a little bit on this situation. Yeah, I don't either. It's not the type of content I'm into, and generally when there's too much hype around a certain thing, I don't do that thing, which is why I don't have
I'd rather watch
TikTok.
How Ridiculous.
How Ridiculous is good. They put out really fun content. Of that type of content, How Ridiculous and then Dude Perfect is classic. Those are probably the only ones I watch.
I think Dude
in
Perfect has
that
gone
vein.
downhill. I think they're trying too hard now.
Recently, yeah.
Yeah.
They're also like many millionaires. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a big controversy. The paying for blind kids to see video. That was some controversy. But anyway, I have obtained, and I didn't pay for it this time, but I've obtained some exclusive video.
The last 2 fails or 3 fails for paying for videos.
Yeah, so I didn't pay for this one. This was just handed to me. Some actual video of this Chris Tyson guy being confronted. I guess it is. I haven't watched this, but I think whoever it is confronting him and asking him about how he got roped into this transition thing. So let's go ahead and watch that right now. You're going to be watching it at the same time, for the first time ever, just alongside myself. So here we go. Let's check it out.
Can you see him?
I think he is a she. And I think she's a changeling.
In that case, be extra careful.
Jedi business. Go back to your drinks.
Who gave you the hormones? Tell us.
Tell us now!
It was a YouTuber called...
Nice.
Maybe I should have paid
Preview.
for the right the right actual scoop there. Man, I keep breaking this news and it's not actual news. I don't know. You know what I should do? I should actually watch these clips before I bring them into the StreamYard and cast them onto YouTube. But yeah, that's just not what I expected to see.
That's funny.
But anyway, if I can get a little bit serious on this story for just a moment, the guy Chris Tyson is claiming that he's doing this for his son and saying like, oh, this is the best thing for my son. I'm doing it for him, and you know, mental health and stuff is should have paid for the rights. Yeah, so he's saying he's doing it for this son. As a husband and a father myself, and I'm sure you would agree, if you are doing something that splits your family, that ends your marriage, to make you feel better, that is not a good thing. That is being selfish. And I know it is not culturally acceptable these days to say negative things about that.
What's the takeaway?
But his wife said she is super happy for him and also wants a divorce. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's the point. I'm so proud of you for making the best decision possible, but I want nothing to do with you anymore. So, yeah. The sons too as well. And without getting too much into what's going to happen to the son, it doesn't look good already. But my main point, if what you are doing splits your family up, and you're saying you're doing it for your son or to make you feel better, that's pure selfishness. And it is wrong. And that's... I don't know how much YouTube will allow me to say without getting into trouble, so I will leave it there.
Stream is already over.
Yeah, it's already taken down.
We're talking to each other.
We have a politics channel in the Discord server. If you're not in the Discord server, you can join that. Link is in the description, and we can get into a little bit more there. But that's one of the things that really frustrates me when families split up like that. Not specifically for that reason. It's just very, very infuriating. I'm sure you would agree as husband and father. You probably feel the same way.
Father time, yes.
Father
Canceled.
time. Yeah. Now I'm going to be canceled. Probably. But anyway, that's the way the news goes.
The Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire.
Hedonism, narcissism, and insufferable pride. Yeah, it's weird that they don't have any gluttony parades or lust parades. I guess they call it pride parades, and then they want to do is celebrate prides, all kinds of prides. So yeah, canceled. I have 2 daughters. No grooming here. There is a reason we moved to actual America. So, so that's that. We can talk about
the way the news goes.
That's the way the news goes. There you go. I don't know. I don't even know who gave me that video clip, but there you go. Weird. So I feel like I need another stinger to like fully get off this topic. I don't know. Okay.
Right. Mythosaurs.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Okay, so she has the Darksaber. There we go.
Yes, she has the Darksaber.
And it was all legit.
Right. Is she going to ride the Mythosaur in this finale episode?
No.
Is the Mythosaur even coming back? You're saying no?
No, I'm going to ride the Mythosaur.
I'm saying story-wise, no. It's not going to happen. Disney-wise, it's going to happen. Disney can't help themselves to leave an episode 2 little tidbit until the next season. They can't help themselves.
Like I said before, I think the knowing it exists and seeing it as a glimpse is enough.
There's a lot of other things
no one ever
that are
believed it
enough
was
that they
real.
don't stick with. That's true. That's true. Is the Mythosaur... Man, it almost seems like the Mythosaur has to make an appearance to make the rest of the Mandalorians fully on board with the cause.
Well, do they believe all the same stuff? The Mythosaur...
I mean, they all believe the Mythosaurs were the ancient beasts of their people.
All right.
They believe that. So, let me ask the chat this final question. What do you want to see in this finale episode? Maybe not what you think is going to happen, but what do you want to see in this finale? Dell says, Bo will ride the Mythosaur. You ride Mythosaurs like Boba Fett ride like a panther. Yes? Man, I'm trying to think about for myself, what do I want to see in this finale? I want to see good Star Wars, honestly.
I always get my hopes
the
up and things don't happen. So typically what I'll do going into any of the episodes is I'll just take what they give me and analyze it later.
Yeah.
See if it led me anywhere, made me feel a certain way.
So in a different Discord server, I think his name is DR. DR. I don't know exactly how to
It's Doctor.
pronounce it. Doctor?
DR.
What? Oh, DR. Yeah. But he asked, like, is everyone hyped for the finale? And I said, yeah, a little bit, but not as much as I should be. And I think that's just because I don't know what to make of this season so far.
Every other season has been very exciting leading up to the finale. And this one just seems to me a bunch of jumbled
As I said
episodes.
last week, it's a bunch of really cool moments with no glue to hold them together.
Yeah.
And you were saying a few weeks ago, I think it was at the halfway point after 4 episodes, you were saying, like, there's nothing that's like hooked me or drew me in yet.
Yep.
Like, I'm not fully invested. Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, for sure. This is the first series where I'm like, oh, it was released yesterday? I should probably watch that.
And then you don't for another couple days.
Yeah. And every other one, I'm like, oh, I got to wait a week.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone watching can probably tell with the frequency or lack of frequency of my uploads. It's just not very inspiring this season. There's not a whole lot that gets me really excited.
I'm cruising YouTube, and there's not a lot of videos out there in general
about it. Yeah.
About it.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is. How do we put our finger on it? It's the glue that holds those moments together. There's no overarching storyline. And I made the point last week in Andor, the overarching story was the formation of the rebellion. That was over everything. The personal story arc was, is Cassian Andor going to join the rebellion? So we had the main theme of the season, but also our main character had his theme. In this, the only overarching theme I can think of is reestablishing the Mandalorian people. But what is Din's character arc? And maybe that is why they're going to kill him off, because there's nothing more for his character to do. Really, the only character development we've seen is between him and Grogu, and him overcoming his hatred of droids. So maybe Bo-Katan will have to be the Mandalorian going on from now on.
I wouldn't see that would be a problem if they wanted to do that. It would be actually kind of funny that the Mandalorian was never Din Djarin.
I want Bo to have a fall from grace. Jin gets his show back, and Grogu gets tired of Mandalorians and trains with Luke, comes back with his own show as young Yoda. Yeah. All of it just seems like, what's the point? It's kind of what it feels like. Now, am I excited to see the finale? Yes. Am I excited enough to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch the finale? No. I value my sleep more than I value this show. Or I was wanting to wake up at 3 a.m. every morning. Especially on the finale.
Every time. Yep.
Yeah, there's a not that for this show. So, any final words from you? Anything in the chat that you guys, anything else you guys want to bring up before we wrap it up here for tonight?
Bring it up and wrap it up.
All right. Yeah, you're probably Pacific time as well.
Huh?
Cat DRL too.
Pacific time?
He said midnight is when it comes out for him.
Oh, I thought he said
you're
now
Pacific
it's midnight.
time, right?
That would put you out in the Atlantic Ocean somewhere.
Yeah. about 25 minutes off the coast. Or 5 minutes off the coast.
Cameos are going to override the Mythosaur.
Let's see. Cameos are going to override the Mythosaur. We'll have Dave, Deb, and Rick, along with Carson and Zeb. We're also supposed to get someone big to lead us into Ahsoka. I think it'll be a Hollow of Thrawn. Very possible, because the next big project is Ahsoka, I think later this year. So that would make sense if they want to tease into that. But again, if they're
I
going
don't
to
see
do
why they wouldn't.
cameos,
They'll have a captive audience.
Yeah, people are going to watch the finale. That's true. But I really don't know exactly what to expect from this finale. Try to have a fun time. And if there is anything that's completely mind-blowing, awesome. I'm sure we'll love it. We'll talk about it next week. I just wish I was more
expectations.
invested.
It's weird. I don't really have any expectations.
Yeah.
Even with Andor, we had so many possibilities of what could be or what we would want to happen. I don't have any of that with this.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just not.
It's an apathetic feeling. It's like, yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's right in the middle of it's not bad and it's not good. It's just, it is.
Which is not how it should be. But we're going to leave it right there for tonight. Good discussion, Father Time. As always, thank you very much for coming on. Always a pleasure to have you. Everyone in the chat, thank you very much for being active and giving us your input, because that is always very much appreciated. I hope this finale is good. Oh, I almost wore that shirt too. I almost wore that one too. Bummer. But like I said, that's going to do it for tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. If you've been here from the very beginning of the show, I really appreciate your time. May this stash be with you, and I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy.